The Brent crude prices are holding on to its $107 per barrel, while the NYMEX is trading steady at around $91 per barrel today. Yesterday and today actually have been slightly positive days. We've seen 0.5% to 1% of gains coming in. Not so much for the Brent crude prices, but the NYMEX crude definitely holding on the higher side. The gold prices also have nudged higher as the dollar softens a bit, but it's a volatile euro which is keeping the investors cautious there. Gold prices have not been able to cross above 1580 level in the recent days. Currently at 1573 on your screens. For the outlook on gold prices, let's go across to Prithviraj Kothari. He's MD Riddhi Siddhi Bullion and he joins us on a Mumbai phone line. Mr. Kothari, hi, welcome to the show. How have you seen the gold performance in the recent days? Very choppy, while 29,000 is holding in the Indian markets. The global prices really have been weak.
If you see in the Indian prices, there is no demand in the physical side. I think almost exchanges are almost $10 to $12 discount. Market also in discounted. If you see the international prices is I think on the downside support around 1570 or maybe 1550 is the best buying level. On upper side should be 1600 or 1620.
Mr. Kothari, how about the Indian markets? Because while the rupee is at a play,
how would it's a rupee depreciation. It's in a day the 1%. It's affected lots of in the physical side. No one can guess that where the prices is going. If you see that yesterday the rupee touched at 55, now today is the 55.85. So it's too difficult to do the business. Lots of people are, we are selling in the market, are losing a lot of money because of the rupee depreciation is too high, volatile, and no one can make money in this market.
Mr. Kothari, for the rest of this year, what range in case of gold prices are you working with?
I'm thinking the downside should be around 28 to 25,000 is the best buying level on upper side. Maybe if a rupee depreciation as usual, then maybe the 31 to 32,000 is possible up to June.
Also, Mr. Kothari, how about the silver prices? Because we've seen sharp declines onto that one. The first quarter performance has clearly been washed away in the second quarter. How would you tackle with the current prices?
It's a silver mainly depend on the equity side. Now, if it's equity positive in 2 or 3 days, or maybe 4 or 5 days, then silver pick up very fastly. I think silver in rupee terms downside around 51 to 52,000. Last week it's coming. I think it's the best buying level. On upper side should be, I'm still watching 63 to 65,000.
And these are the levels up till the month of June?
Yeah, it's a month of June.
All right, Mr. Kothari, we'll let you go at that. Thank you so much for joining us. So you could see some more dips coming into the precious metal prices. That's, of course, till the month of June. But for the very near term, let's go to our experts then. We also are now joined by Naveen Mathur. He's Associate Director, Currencies and Commodities, Angel Commodities, and he joins us now in Mumbai. Naveen, hi, welcome. How are you looking at the precious metals, gold and silver? Do you see further dips coming in, or would you rather buy at these current levels, at least for the very near term?
Yeah, thank you very much, Manish. I think it's more to do with the rupee depreciation or the weakness in rupee, which is holding up the prices in Indian markets in spite of a little weakness in international markets. But if you see, the international markets are trading at around 1570 to 1580 kind of levels. Rupee would be a major factor, Manish, and just because of the rupee, we may see an upside in the prices of gold in Indian markets. Therefore, for an intraday, I think one can buy the gold contract on the MCX at around 2940 to 2950 levels, 29,040 to 29,050 levels. We are recommending a target for the evening session at around 29,100, 170, 150 levels. But we would recommend to put the stop loss for this particular trade since the markets are a little choppy because of so much of uncertainty and concerns in the market. We recommend the target at around, the stop loss at around 28,950 for this trade.
How about silver, Naveen? Because while Mr. Kothari said 51 to 63 of a range till the month of June, I mean, how are you playing it?
Manisha, as I always used to say, and for silver, it's pretty dynamic. And because of the precious metal move and because of the base metal move, you never know which kind of the move the silver will pick up. But as of now, I think with the crisis situation in the euro, we are dependent on how the elections of Greece would come out, whether the Greece would be in the euro or what will happen to the euro particularly. And the US economy is stabilizing, but at the same time, the Chinese economy has some kind of a negative bandwidth coming into the markets. So being a copper, being an industrial consumption country that China is, I think it will be a little muted for the industrial metals overall. But talking about silver on the precious metal side, I think still a buy for the intraday. I think 54,500 or so is a price right now. We would put a stop loss of 54.50 and the target for the day would be at around 54,740. The consumer confidence index would be a key today, which is supposed to be released in Indian markets by around 7:30 from the US. So I think that would be a key for the base metals and also for the silver for the evening session.
Vijay, let me get you in as well. And while you have been bullish on precious metals for a long term, would you start buying at these current levels, or would you want to wait for dips?
Well, Manisha, unless you're really playing for a few hours, I don't think any of these counters are showing signs of confidence that would rope in a cautious trader. I would want silver to trade consistently above the 54,750 levels. I would want gold to trade consistently above the 29,400 levels before I could start to commit funds on the long side. Because every time you see 1% or 2% up move on these two precious metals, there is a selling pressure and overhead supply which is capping the gains and eroding the short-term gains made by the bulls. So let's clear some hurdles. Let's clear the resistance levels and congestion zones before we talk about sustainable upthrust, and then probably commit funds. So at this point in time, I would probably keep my hands off, unless you're really buying in for physical deliveries.
Okay. Naveen, let's talk about the crude prices then, and down 12% for this month, but we have seen a bit of a traction come in for last couple of sessions. Do you think it's good enough to start buying, at least for the intraday market?
I think, Manisha, for Indian markets, yes, in terms of buying, one can buy at around 50-80 levels or so, 5,080 levels or so. Stop loss recommended for this trade would be around 50-50, and targets on the upside can be seen in the range of 51-55 or so. It's trading at around 5,100 on the MCX. International markets, I feel, which is at around $91 to $92 a barrel, the WTI NYMEX contract. I think the range for the coming couple of days would be on the downside restricted to around $89 to $88. The upside is also restricted because we don't have too much of the data, promising data to talk about, which will take the crude oil prices on the upside. So the upside would be to around around $94, $95. So between $89 to $95 levels one can see in the international markets, and there can be a buying opportunity today for the evening session, as I said earlier.
Vijay, how would you play the crude and the natural gas prices? Because in the recent days, there has been an inverse correlation between both of them. How are you playing that up?
I agree with you, Manisha. The inverse correlation has been there for most of the times in the recent past. And I think natural gas, the closer it gets to 150 or 152 band, the more selling you're seeing coming in from short-term bulls. Remember the operative word here is short-term bulls, because after a 4-week back-to-back rally, I'm sorry, it's very natural that the counter will witness some profit sales. It requires a consistent trade above the 153, 155 levels to actually go into the next leg of the upthrust. Where crude is concerned, I think it's got support on lower end at 5,020 to maybe 5,040 band. I would attempt to buy if it declines by 1% or so. I would agree with Naveen that the upside potential exists up to 51, 50 odd levels. So that's where I would attempt to book profits on any long positions.
Vijay, how are you looking at the base metal prices also? Because that area also has seen some support. Do you think you anyway have been bullish on aluminum, nickel in the recent days? Do you think the strength in that one continues?
I would think so. I would actually include zinc into the pack. I think all these three metals are showing signs of strength. I would not hesitate to buy aluminium, copper and zinc for intraday also today. And I think what we are clearly seeing is a deliberate but very muted accumulation indications on the charts. And copper, I think, would have the potential to go up to 432 levels. Aluminium has the potential to go up to 112, 112 and a half. Zinc has actually the strength to go up to 108 levels odd. So I would go out and buy these counters.
Naveen, what's your strategy for the intraday markets? You're buying into precious metals, into crude as well today, so buying into base metals as well?
Yes, I think Manisha, buy copper would be the strategy also in the base metal pack. Looks slightly bullish, so 427 levels or so can be the buying opportunity with a stop loss of around 423.30, and we're looking forward, as we just said, around 432 the targets for the evening session.
All right, Naveen, we'll let you go at that. Thank you so much for joining us with your sense on all of those commodities there. So it seems like a good day. Buying call coming in from Angel on gold, silver, crude and copper for the intraday markets there.